Hello, it's Saturday, about 10 a.m., and we're off to an okay start. Here is what I have that I'd like to work through this weekend. I'm just taking a deep breath because I feel like finally we have a little bit of breathing space. We have no plans this weekend, which is fantastic. And of course, I feel like that's time to really dig into my task list and see what I can get done, see what we can get done. So we are off to a good start so far. Everyone's had breakfast, everyone's had coffee. We actually make and grind and make our own coffee, which is great. We invested about 3 years ago in a kind of combo machine that you put the beans in, it grinds them and brews it, which is fantastic. That's lovely to wake up to. Then I made breakfast. We had scrambled eggs, toast, and a multigrain toast, and cantaloupe. I bought a cantaloupe yesterday and cut it up, which was fantastic. The little one, my daughter's 14 months, she never had it before, and the texture kind of threw her off, but she was a champ. She kind of spit it out a couple times, maybe 3 times, but then on the 4th time I was like, oh, this is really good. Really took to it, which is fantastic. Really happy that she liked that. And then last night my husband brought home some deli sandwiches, and including a bagel with whitefish on top, which was phenomenal. So good. The bagel was great, like sort of dense, chewy, one of those real New York bagels. He works in, his client is in Brooklyn, so I don't know where he picked, anyway, I don't know where the deli is that he picked it up from, but it's a New York bagel. And whitefish on top, which is fantastic. So you have the dense, chewy bagel with the sort of fresh, salty, creamy whitefish on top, and then they put some pickled cucumbers and radish, like purple radish on top, which is phenomenal. So we had that for breakfast. Feeling solid and equipped to tackle the day, which is a good way to start. So my Saturday task list here, along with my weekly affirmations, and I'm about to dive in. So on my task list for today, it doesn't mean to get them all done today, but these are things that in a perfect world would get done today. My goal is to get these done. So I'm gonna do laundry, I have a return, and I'd like to mop, get to my resume with some examples, and then a supermarket run. So those last 3 things are the most important. I'll start with we'll do the last 4. Laundry is working right now. So I have a return to do at the Patagonia store. I was excited because we all need, I'm saying need is a tough word. As a birthday present, we have birthdays. My birthday's in October, my husband's is in November. So I got him a Patagonia jacket, debt-free, thankfully. I was excited to just walk in, buy exactly what I needed in exactly the color I wanted, and walk out. I'm thrilled to have done that. It looks great on him, very happy. He got the better sweater, the navy full zip. Looks fantastic, but I bought it in 2 sizes, and I'm returning the size we're not gonna keep, so that's thing 1. Patagonia is like 5 blocks up the street, so 5 blocks up in our neighborhood, so I'm excited that it's so close too. The third thing, supermarket run for rum cake stuff. So Thanksgiving is this week, and we were thinking kind of about what to make. Last year I made cinnamon rolls, and I was the only one that ate them. I'm like, I don't really want to do that again, because if I'm cooking for myself, that's not what I'm gonna make. But I was thinking, like, what holiday tradition kind of things do we want to do? And because my husband's family is from the Caribbean, I was thinking just black rum cakes. It's kind of a traditional Caribbean thing. We went to that wedding in July, and the cake that they made was a black rum cake. I thought it was chocolate, and I'm like, oh, chocolate, that's not my favorite flavor, but it wasn't. It was a rum cake, and it was phenomenal. I'm like, oh, well, why don't we just do that? So I was looking up recipes for that last night, and it is a multi-day process. So you have to buy the fruits and the dried fruit, which is raisins, currants, prunes, and you can do cherries. And then you have to stew it, or ideally you'd soak it for a month in the rum. But a shortcut is to stew the fruit in the rum and let it sit overnight. So that's one night. So it's rum, brandy, and wine you can use. So that's thing 1, and spices. So that's thing 1. Then you have to cook the cake, and then it's like 2.5 hours on 220 in the oven. So that's the cook time. Then you need to let it sit and cool for at least 5 hours, ideally overnight. I'm like, okay. And then you can eat it on the 3rd day. So that's like 4 days. You have to stew the fruit, make the cake, let it cool, and then you can eat it on the last day. So it's a process. I'm hoping to potentially get to a supermarket to get some fruit. The suggestion was, and spices, so I need a mixed spice, which has dried orange and pimento, which is allspice, but there's another spice. So I want to get that from a store so I can see what it tastes like before making my own. And browning, which is sugar in burnt sugar, brown sugar with water. It's like a sugar syrup, like a simple syrup, but brown to add color to the cake. So those two ingredients specifically, and then if I can get the fruit cheaper, that would be great, by the pound. We'll see how that goes. So there's a supermarket, again, up the block. I'm pointing up the block north, but I would need to get on the subway for that. So that's potential to do for today. If not, I do want to get the dried fruit today and have it set, because I don't want to sleep on that. I do want to sleep on that. I want it to be done. So either way, I want to get to a supermarket, be it a Caribbean supermarket or the local Fairway or Pioneer. Fairway. That's thing 2. Thing 3 is mopping. So we have these beautiful hardwood floors, and I have not taken the best care of them because it's a lot of work. So hoping at some point one of us can take everything off the floor and mop, because it's always nice to start the holidays with a clean floor. That would involve, I'll show you, that would involve getting everything up and off the floor. So that's something, we have the time. So hopefully that's something we can tackle today. It's on my list of tasks that I would like to do, just putting it on the list. I was once told, this is leading into the work career element, I was told to watch my list, as in putting things on my list that never get done. So I try to come up with something different than, oh, it's on the list. Say, I'm working that into the schedule. I'm scheduling time for that. So I'll say I would like to schedule time for that. It's not that much. It's just actually one of the two of us corralling the little one to get it done. So that's thing 4. Thing 5, resume and examples. This is the thing that is the biggest lever. It's the most important and may become urgent, but that is right now something I want to do. So resume and examples. I have my resume up to date with my current position, and I have kind of been watching on LinkedIn. I have an alert set up, and I'm saving jobs that I would be qualified for, which are in my salary range, my desired salary range. So what I have been doing is taking the requirements and finding ways to kind of add them, tailor them to my resume, getting ideas of things to add to my resume. I'm aware that when I do apply, I will tailor my resume to each position. So something I would like to do is send my resume actually to a gentleman that I just found, you guys, channel. I think it's Career Coaching with Ryan. Look him up. He's got a fantastic channel on tech sales and recruiting, and really how to become a better account manager, which is exactly what I do. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So I found him on a search for career progression, career improvement, career path, and he came up. He's great. Should have more subscribers. I hope he gets more subscribers. I'm pretty sure he will. It seems like he's got a busy job. But I would like to send him my resume and just kind of see what he thinks. He's got a ton of paid programs, which I may be taking advantage of in the future. Ideally, that would be exciting. So I'm excited to send that over to him and get his feedback on that. And the second thing under that career development kind of section is I would like to go through the skills that I have in LinkedIn and looking at those jobs that I've saved and the skills that they require, and come up with examples and stories for each skill. Just because that's a good thing to do. And also, so from Ryan, I heard the saying, facts tell, stories sell. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's very true. So I would like to have a few stories on the ready to explain my experience, and also to give me kind of a boost when it comes to, give me a head start when it comes to getting ready to interview, just to keep those skills fresh. I mentioned in my last video that that's something I'm actively working on doing. So that is something I would like to, I'm excited to do, is to kind of dive into that before it's needed. Because it's always a good thing to be preparing for your next role, which is what I'm doing right now, be that inside my company or outside my company. So that is what I am aiming to do this weekend, and I'm excited to have some sort of time to do that. So that's what I got for you. That is what is on my schedule for today, and thanks for watching.